everybody. Our first action here, preseason week 2, now in the books. We welcome you to NFL Game Day Final, presented by Harbor Freight. I'm Rhett Lewis here with you alongside our former NFL scout, Bucky Brooks, lead draft analyst, Daniel Jeremiah. Fired up here to get through some of these highlights from a Eagles 14-13 win over the Patriots with plenty of storylines littered throughout, fellas. Let's get right into the highlights here, shall we? Of course, all eyes on Drake Maye once again. Expected to see a bit of Devon Baker laying out on a pass that traveled about 40 yards in the air. Thought it was right on the money, Buck.
It looked like it was dropped right in that front pocket. If he comes over there, that's the explosive play that every offense wants. It probably leads to points.
Hey, love seeing the smile, though, from Drake Maye, although it was the Eagles, of course, who do get the win 14-13. All right, let's talk about this performance here from Drake Maye. Deech, what do you see?
Well, we got to see him. Let's start there. Last week, again, weather, only 6 snaps. So to get to see him for a larger sample size was excellent. And then I thought you got a chance to see his skill set. You saw his ability to drive the football. That was apparent on that early 3rd down. You see him here using his legs, get out, get some of those free yards. That athleticism just kept showing up over and over and over again. And, Buck, this is where it's going to get interesting. I know this is
element to an offense that doesn't have any established explosive playmakers. You may need to lean more into your quarterback to provide some of that juice instead of those playmakers on the outside.
Yeah, and look, certainly understand what you're saying, right? Let him grow a little bit, and then we'll put him in when things are maybe a little bit better around him, but it's going to be hard if things are breaking down.
How many times have we seen that, though? How many times have we said, hey, just be patient with the quarterback? Hey, we're going to be patient. We're going to take our time. And all of a sudden, 2 losses, 3 losses. Oh, my gosh, we can't pass protect. Just put the kid out there. At least he can get out of some of that.
Yeah, that is certainly a thought process. I thought, man, that deep ball that he threw, not only was the ball on the money, but the way he manipulated the pocket a little bit, sidestepped the rush, stepping up, and that was absolutely on the money, even though Baker obviously had to lay out for it. That would have been a whole lot of fun. Probably would have changed the look of these numbers that we're about to show you here with both of these quarterbacks. So for Drake Maye, look, respectable, certainly. 8 of 14. Obviously, those are total touchdown numbers. Neither quarterback has thrown a passing touchdown. I believe Joe Milton's the only Patriots quarterback to find pay dirt through the air. And then that passer rating, that is definitely a difference.
Yeah, more than 0.
It is. It is for
sure. It's been rough, though. I mean, look, in Jacoby Brissett's defense, he's out there, and it's not all the starters for the Eagles, but he's seeing some of their frontline guys. And just, you know, in the building process, this is a team that has work to do up front along this offensive line. I don't want to say a total rebuild since the Brady years, but they've had to really start over here. And they've filled some holes. Hopefully they found their quarterback of the future. But this offensive line is going to need a lot more pieces.
On what he can add. Part of the reason why we're talking about Drake Maye maybe being an early season starter is just because he gives them just a little extra juice. That added dimension can help an offense that's very pedestrian when you look on paper.
Well, and you do have to look. We understand this is preseason. You're certainly not showing everything. You're not playing with everybody. But for Jacoby Brissett, all of those completions that he had, I mean, the 3 come under 10 yards in the air. 0 for 4 on throws beyond 10 yards.
And they've been running. He had it, too. He had the go ball and missed it.
So is that what this offense is going to look like with Jacoby Brissett at the helm, right? Is it, you know, run here, try to pick up third and short?
We've done the analyst thing, and we can talk about what coaches would do. Let's put the fan hat on for a second. If you're a fan of the
you want to see,
give me Drake Maye. I want something to watch. It's not so boring. It's just like watching paint dry, watching this offense for the New England Patriots over the last couple years. Drake Maye is going to make it exciting. He's going to make mistakes. There's going to be issues there, no doubt. And again, for his case, I hope he sits. But if I put the fan hat on, oh, man, give me Drake Maye. Give him to me right now.
Maybe even sprinkle a little Joe Milton in. You get a little bit of excitement, right?
Week 10.
Yeah, maybe that's it. We shall see. All right, let's move to the defensive side of the ball here, DJ. Obviously, one of the big storylines this week, the trade. Patriots sending Matt Judon to the Atlanta Falcons for a 3rd-round draft pick. You're like, all right, well, now how are they going to get after the passer? What? They're 5 sacks tonight.
Yeah, they got after it. And again, not the front line guys for the Eagles.
But you want to see it.
We qualify this I guess we don't have to qualify that anyway. Let's just talk about it.
Right?
Keon White, we talked about him in the run-up to the game. We want to see what he could do as an edge rusher. We know he's got the speed and the power. It's just putting all these things together. He was excellent. He had a sack, almost had another one. This looked like it could be a very athletic, young front, Buck. And that's what you're looking for this year. You're identifying who are these pieces that are going to be part of the puzzle going forward.
Yeah, we talked about in the past, when they've been in their heyday, they have not had an established pass rusher. They did it by committee. They schemed it up. Tonight we saw them kind of scheme it up a little bit to be able to get home. Some stunts, some simulated pass rushers where they're bringing 4, but it looks like 5 or 6 are coming. They're able to fool the opponent. and this may be one, but this is what they do all year. They have some athletic guys, but can they continue to scheme it up to get some consistent pressure on the quarterback?
And inside this division, Aaron Rodgers, provided he stays healthy. Tua, we know what that Miami offense looks like. Josh Allen, you better have pass rushers.
Yes.
You better find them, and it looks like this was a good sign tonight for some of these young guys.
On the flip side, for the Philadelphia Eagles on defense, we know there is no shortage of pass rusher for the Philadelphia Eagles. Didn't see all of them tonight, but saw one from the University of Georgia, got a ton of reps. Of course, that's Nolan Smith, one of their first-round picks from a year ago. And look, he did get called for the penalty, but did get home a little bit later in the game. Nakobe Dean also had a nice game.
Georgia.
Let's go.
Philly, yeah. I mean, look, this Philadelphia defense, we talked about Vic Fangio and his impact on the defense. He's going to structure it out. He's going to make sure they play hard. They're going to tackle and do the little things really well. But more importantly, you'll see the playmakers have opportunities to go make plays. Nakobe Dean did this a ton at Georgia. Reacts, chef
Plays here.
Nice.
As a young edge rusher, Vic Fangio, one of his favorite players in the draft, add him to that mix of talented edge rushers that they have there.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll throw in Kendall Milton as well, who I guess put in the game-winning touchdown, if you will, 14-13.
Yeah.
Also from Georgia on the ground there for the Philadelphia Eagles. We saw Kenny Pickett, we saw Will Greer, and we saw Tanner McKee all get reps at quarterback there in Philly. So, all right, let's take a look at what's coming up for the rest of the preseason here live on NFL Network. I cannot wait for this quadruple header on Saturday. Going to be with you as we get you set for Bengals and Bears. Caleb Williams will make his second start for the Chicago Bears. We get the Lions and Chiefs in Game 2. We'll see Russell Wilson's debut for the Steelers. They host the Bills in Game 3. Raiders quarterback competition taking center stage there in Las Vegas as they host the Cowboys. And then Packers Broncos on Sunday. And with that, we'll take you back to Gillette Stadium where Gerard Mayo is addressing the media.
Gerard, you said that Drake would get more snaps. Just what did you see of him, particularly his poise and getting into the end zone?
Yeah, he had great composure. I thought it was a good drive. I thought he went out there and did a lot of good things. So hopefully he can build on that, and we'll see how this week goes.
Gerard, we haven't had a chance to talk to you since the Matthew Judon trade. I was wondering if you could comment on that.
Look, I mean, you guys know how I feel about Judon, and, obviously he's moving on. I felt like, it's a win-win for both parties, and I wish him nothing but the best. I always tell the guys these are long-term relationships, and nothing's changed.
Building off that, Gerard, who are some of the players that you think might be a big part of filling, what Judon would have done for you?
Yeah, we've gone years without having a premier rusher, right? Chandler Jones, the Judons of the world. But we were able to manufacture pass rush through our stunts and games and our game planning. So, look, it's not going to be one person. It's hard to sit here and say one person can replace Matthew Judon, both on the field and both on the field and off the field. But I think we have a good group ready to go, step into those shoes.
Gerard, with Drake, it looked like you guys put him in shotgun. You put him in some zone read stuff that looked like what he did in college. How important was it to use some of those concepts that maybe he was familiar with to get him comfortable?
It's very important to do those things. Like you said, he did it in college, and the problem is from college to here is just the language. And once you can start to link the language that you learned in college to the language that you're learning right now, the game becomes a little bit easier from an X's and O's perspective. So I look forward to seeing how he builds off of today, but he did a lot of good things.
Gerard, what went into the decision to play Drake so much more tonight than last week? Was that always the plan?
Yeah, that was always the plan. Kind of what I told you guys last week. That was always the plan, to play him more. It was the plan to play him in the third quarter so we can go through some of those adjustments, that stuff, and he did.
Hey, Gerard.
All right, Gerard Mayo addressing the media there for the Patriots following that 14-13 loss. We are going to see many of the Chiefs starters once again this week, but for an extended period of time. Head coach Andy Reid, as they get set for their matchup against the Lions on Saturday, say most of the starters will play most of the first half, in fact. So excited about that potential here for the Chiefs and Lions. That is Game 2 of our quadruple header on Saturday. So I guess, what do we expect to see from the Chiefs starters here on Saturday?
Well, they're going to treat it like they're getting ready for a game. That's how Andy Reid does it. He has a physical camp. He doesn't give away games early in the year. Last year, they start out 6-1, the only loss being that opener, which they lost by 1 point, Buck. So he understands there's a reason why we get home field advantage every year. There's a reason why we're such a high seed every year. We don't concede games early in the year, and part of that is we're going to play our starters in the preseason, get them a little calloused up a little bit, and be ready to go.
You know, that's what the Kansas City Chiefs have done. They're a team that has always started out fast, and part of that is the way he approached training camp. They're going to be physical in practice. They're going to have these long drives where they really get their guys ready to play. And so when everyone is figuring out what they're going to be in September, the Kansas City Chiefs have a clear idea of who they are, how they need to play, and what they're going to do. It's one of the reasons why this team has dominated. I think it's 8 straight division titles. Is because they win in September, and it sets them up to have a lot of success later in the year.
We'll see it. Game 2 of our quadruple header on Saturday. Chiefs.
Hello, xin chào các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Video ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục tạo ra những sản phẩm, những video thật là đẹp, tuyệt vời và ý nghĩa để gửi tặng đến các bạn. Nhưng mình mong rằng các bạn khi xem video của mình thì hãy ủng hộ mình bằng những lượt like và lượt đăng ký kênh để mình tiếp tục với động lực ra video. Mình cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều. Mình không biết nói gì hơn, mình cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều.